Hi Sagittarius, this is your June 23rd through the 29th weekly tarot reading. We'll have 5 separate spreads in this weekly reading. In the first spread, we'll be looking at new love entry in your life. Spread number 2 is for those of you who are already married or in a relationship. In the third spread, we'll see if anybody wants to get back together with you. After that, in spread number 4, we'll talk about your work, your business, and your finances. And the fifth spread will be what you're not expecting to happen this week. Please like, comment, and subscribe to support this channel. This first spread is on new love this week, Sagittarius. We have the Three of Pentacles clarified by the Eight of Pentacles. We have the Wheel of Fortune, the Two of Cups clarified by the Three of Cups. In the potential outcome, we have the King of Wands with Temperance and the Ace of Swords. And we also have the High Priestess on the bottom of the deck. You could be dealing with a fellow fire sign. Aries, Leo, and other Sagittarius. We also have some water, some water on the table, maybe Cancer. Alright, so here's the deal, Sagittarius. First of all, I got to tell you right away is that this is a very specific, very particular situation, okay? It may not resonate with everybody. And also, let's talk about assumptions real quick. The King of Wands, the first card in the potential outcome. For some of you, it could be you, Sagittarius, it could be you, right? You're a fire sign, the King of Wands is a fire sign indicator. But just not to make it too complex, we will assume the King of Wands is the person you're dealing with, right? Just not to make it spiral out of control in terms of how many different scenarios there can be. So we're assuming the King of Wands is the person you're dealing with. So it could be a fellow fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or somebody with some major fire placements in their chart. If they're not a fire sign, they could be like a leader, okay? They could be like a manager or somebody who's got the initiative, somebody who's very on fire and passionate, all right? The Temperance card right next to the King of Wands, that is you for sure, right? That is your major arcana card. So again, if you are a male or a masculine Sagittarius watching this, you could be in your own reading twice. But again, we're assuming the King of Wands is the person you're dealing with, and you're the Temperance card. So you're in your own potential outcome. All right, so here's where the very specific part of this situation comes in. This person has something to do with the way you make your money. Or maybe they will have something to do with the way you make your money starting this week. All right? Because the first two cards, the Three of Pentacles clarified by the Eight of Pentacles, definitely work associated in some capacity, in some shape or form. This person has something to do with, again, the way you make your money, right? It could be somebody you definitely work with, or could be starting a job. Maybe they're starting a new job this week. Again, maybe you two already work together, right? Maybe this is somebody who works in the same building. They could be working for another company, and the company you work for collaborate with that company. You know, maybe they're partners. One of you could be a supplier, the other one could be the vendor, or the other way around, what have you. Again, those two cards put together, especially work. Somehow this person has something to do with your work, okay? And from what I see, Sagittarius, maybe you're already dealing with this person, right? But in the beginning, I think the two of you will kind of keep it very, very private. You're not going to tell people you work with, or maybe you'll tell very, very, very few people, 1 or 2 people. You may not even tell it to your friends or your relatives, because I do see you guys keeping it under the wraps, right? The High Priestess on the bottom of the deck, it is a card of a secret. It's one way, it's definitely one way to interpret it. It's also a card of intuition, but I think since we also have that Ace of Swords right next to the deck, I think it's a secret. Or you're just keeping it to yourself, you're keeping it private, maybe it's not very work appropriate. You know, or you just want to make sure that this actually goes somewhere before you make it formal, public, official, and things like that. Because the Ace of Swords is the Ace of Clarity. It's the truth. The truth is going to come out, right? So the High Priestess is a secret, right? And the Ace of Swords is the truth, right? That's why I'm saying that you guys will keep it private in the beginning. Speaking of keeping it private, right? The Wheel of Fortune right next to the Three of Pentacles, going back to the beginning, right? The Wheel of Fortune is actually one of your major arcana cards as well. Sagittarius, the Wheel of Fortune could be interpreted as many different zodiac signs, and Sagittarius is one of them because of Jupiter, right? And it's also a card of starting a cycle. Starting cycle. It's a major arcana card, so there's definitely a cycle starting between the two of you. The Wheel of Fortune could also be a card of a trip, going somewhere. Maybe you guys will going to, like, on a business trip, or maybe you're going on a conference, right? Or one of you comes to visit another office, and this is where the two of you get together. Okay, but yeah, let's just say that this is the start of a new cycle. Okay, the Two of Cups clarified by the Three of Cups. Yep, this is the two of you. Maybe going to dinner, maybe going to a happy hour after work, or after you guys close some kind of a deal, or after a conference, or perhaps both of you are going to be taking the same class together at a remote location. But after that, maybe the two of you are going to go out and celebrate. That's what I think those two cards are talking about. The Three of Cups is definitely some kind of a celebration, and the Two of Cups is a soulmate card, and it's two people getting together, getting to know each other more, you know. It's actually a great card. The Two of Cups is a great card. This is a card of when two people are on the same page, feeling the same way towards one another, you know, very similar individuals. All right, and then I think you're going to keep it this way, or have been keeping it this way, like very private, but at some point in the future it will have to come out. Most likely because you will feel like, yes, the two of you belong together, yes, it's working out. And so let's let everybody know we're together. That's what the Ace of Swords is. All right, but looks like fun. Looks like you guys are connecting. It looks like you've got a lot in common. Your vibe. All right, I'm really happy for you, Sagittarius. Congratulations. If you are already in a relationship or married, Sagittarius, this spread is for you. We have the Five of Pentacles, the Page of Cups clarified by the Five of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Fool on the bottom of the deck. You could be dealing with an Aries or absolutely any zodiac sign. Well, Sagittarius, this spread has a very kind of sad, unfortunate perhaps beginning, but a really good ending. All right, a really good ending. All right, it starts with the Five of Pentacles, right? And a little further down, that Page of Cups is clarified by another five, the Five of Wands. Okay, two fives. So the Five of Pentacles could be interpreted as somebody feeling left out in the cold, sad, miserable, lonely. It's also a card of somebody who is struggling financially. Okay? Speaking of a struggle, okay? The Five of Wands clarifying the Page of Cups, it could be a card of a struggle. You know, it could be a card of a struggle. It's also a card of a conflict. It's a card of drama. It's a card of competition. You know, that type of deal. So the Page of Cups for some of you is an apology. It could be coming from your person, or maybe it's coming from you. Okay? The Page of Cups could be an offer of help. An offer of help. Maybe your person will help you, you will help your person. This help could be coming from a friend. Say one of you lost a job. I'm not predicting anybody losing a job, but perhaps it already happened. Maybe somebody will come forward and help you find a job, right? Or it could be just you guys again patching things up. Okay, the Fool on the bottom of the deck, it is a card of letting go. I think that's what it is, unless you're dealing with an Aries, right? The Fool is an Aries major arcana card, but I think with those fives being in the same rating and the Page of Cups being also in the mix, the Fool is a card of like either letting go, or if you got into some kind of a fight, you know, a lot of couples fight. Unfortunately, it's the reality, all right? But the Fool could also be, if somebody helps you find a job, you'll feel liberated. Like, yeah, you got money coming in, so you can, you know, afford to pay for whatever you need to pay. Okay, the Ten of Pentacles right next to the deck, it's a really, really good card. It really is. That's why in the beginning of the spread I said it has a very kind of sad, unfortunate ending, but a really sad, unfortunate beginning, but a really good ending, because it ends with the Ten of Pentacles. It is a card of a rock-solid commitment of marriage. It's also a card of financial abundance. Okay, and it's a card of real estate, an actual home. Okay, so maybe you're moving to a better home for some of you. Perhaps that's also a possibility here. All right, cool. Let's see if anybody comes back from the past for you, Sagittarius, this week. Keep in mind, it doesn't have to be the most recent ex. We have the Six of Cups, clarified by the Page of Wands. We have the King of Cups. Then we also have Death, clarified by the Four of Cups. And we also have the World on the bottom of the deck. You could be dealing with a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. This is one interesting, tricky reading. I got to be honest with you, Sagittarius. Okay, first of all, the not so tricky part is that you're dealing with this King of Cups, right? So it could be a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or somebody with some major water placements in their chart. And let me jump the gun. Let me jump the gun and get straight to the point, to the tricky part. At the end, we have Death, clarified by the Four of Cups right next to the deck, right? And we also have the World on the bottom of the deck. Death could be interpreted so many different ways, right? First of all, if this King of Cups happens to be a Scorpio, right, then Death card represents them. So it's possible that this person is showing up in this reading twice, right? Death is a Scorpio major arcana card, and the King of Cups could be any water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Okay? Death is a card of a ending. Death is a card of an ending. Death is also a card of a transformation. Alright? Death is a card of a transformation. The Four of Cups, clarifying death. It is not one of the cards that came out. It's a clarifier. It's a clarifier of the death card, as you can see. Okay? So this is where different scenarios come in. Right? First of all, if this person had some kind of a addiction, right? If they had some kind of a problem, if they had a problem drinking, using, smoking, whatever, something that was a deal breaker for you, something that could have been the reason why the two of you are no longer together. This person may come back and tell you, you know what, I no longer do that. I no longer drink, use, smoke, what have you. That's what the Four of Cups for some of you could represent. That they are saying no more to whatever that issue, whatever that problem they had. They've changed, they've transformed. Alright, so that's what came to an end. They no longer drink or use or what have you. Okay, that could be one scenario here. Death with the Four of Cups could represent, say this person tried to get back together with you multiple times over some period of time, over a week, over a couple of weeks, over a couple of months, over a couple of years, and maybe this time around you will, you know what, I will no longer be rejecting this person. Right? I will no longer be rejecting them. They're very consistent. Perhaps they proved themselves over time. You kept an eye on them. And this time around, you'll be like, okay, all right, I'll give them another chance, right? So that could be a card of the end of the Four of Cups, the end of you rejecting this person. Okay? Still with me? Death with the Four of Cups could also be you simply rejecting this person. You're simply rejecting this person. You could say, you know what? I don't want to entertain this. What's the point of trying to resurrect this? No, it's done. It's over with. I've already moved on. Don't bother me. Okay? The World on the bottom of the deck is also a card of an ending. It could also be a card of someplace remote, by the way. There could be a distance between the two of you. But the World is a happy end card. Alright? I always interpret it as a happy end. This is when one chapter of your life comes to an end and a much better chapter of your life begins. Or, again, if this person had some kind of an addiction, they're no longer suffering from it, right? That's what came to an end. So let me know how this plays out for you, Sagittarius. Again, this is a tricky reading. For some of you, you're going to give them a chance. For others of you, you're like, nah, we're done. Alright? Cool. Let's talk about your work, your business, and your finances, Sagittarius, this week. We have Justice, clarified by the Seven of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords, the Ace of Swords, clarified by the Star, and the Five of Swords on the bottom of the deck. You could be dealing with a Libra or an Aquarius or any zodiac sign. Well, I gotta be honest with you, Sagittarius, a couple of things. It's also a very specific reading, just like the first spread was for people looking for new love, right? This spread is also very specific, very particular. And it's something serious. It's not one of those, oh, I just got a bonus or I just got a promotion. No, this is something serious. And perhaps it's been dragging on for a while, okay? So there's going to be a resolution this week. There's definitely going to be a resolution this week. Okay, Justice, clarified by the Seven of Pentacles. Justice could simply be a Libra. You're dealing with. Justice is a Libra major arcana card, but Justice is most likely a government agency, or maybe an HR department, or maybe a financial institution. Okay? And the Seven of Pentacles clarifying that is a card of waiting. So perhaps some of you have been waiting for this. You could have been in the middle of some kind of a lawsuit. You could have applied for a loan. You could have applied for some kind of a program with the government. Or maybe there's like an HR issue that is in progress right now. And perhaps you've been waiting for it. And here comes the resolution, right? The remaining cards on the table are the resolution. The good news, I guess, is the last card that came out is the Ace of Swords, and it's clarified by the Star. I specifically followed up, as I was clarifying the Ace of Swords, I simply asked, so what's the Ace of Swords about? And the Star showed up. So this is it's a good sign. It's a good sign, right? The star is an Aquarius, a major arcana card, but the star, it's a very positive card. It really is, right? The star is a card of a wish come true, and it's a card of hope, and it's also a card of healing. Healing. So maybe for some of you, this lawsuit or what have you was about some kind of accident in the past. I'm not predicting anybody getting into accidents, but maybe some kind of an accident or an injury or what have you, right? And maybe they're going to be giving you money for healing, for medical expenses, what have you. Okay, but the star, yeah, it is a card of a wish come true. Even though the Ten of Swords and the Five of Swords in this reading are very dramatic cards, I guess. But since those two cards, the Ace of Swords and the Star, came out at the very end, I think it's good news. Good news. So it could be like a defeat. So whoever you are against, they're going to be defeated. And it's just going to be so bad for them. You know, they're going to be completely defeated, completely done. And the Ace of Swords with the Star, you're winning. You're getting that money. You're getting that money for medical expenses. You're getting that money they owe you. Or maybe the government will, you know, decide that you need to be on some kind of a program or what have you. That's what. So perhaps something didn't want you to have this, but you're still winning. That's how it feels, Sagittarius. All right, cool. Let's see what you're not expecting to happen this week, Sagittarius. We have the Magician, clarified by the Six of Cups, the Knight of Swords, clarified by the Eight of Wands, well, the Four of Wands, and the Chariot on the bottom of the deck. You could be dealing with a Gemini, Virgo, Cancer, or actually any air sign, not just Gemini, Libra and Aquarius. And what you're not expecting is somebody is probably getting married. maybe you're invited. Or you'll just hear from somebody, or you may hear from these people, or one of the people who are getting married, that they're getting married. Right? But for most of you, I think there's a trip coming up. And it could be like a wedding, like I said, or maybe an engagement party, housewarming party, as long as it has something to do with family, not necessarily your family. Right? It could be your family, extended family, or somebody else's family. There's a trip coming up. Trip. Somebody, yeah, definitely. Because we have 3 really, really fast cards on the table. 3. Right? Those are the 3 fastest cards, actually. Okay, the Knight of Swords, the Eight of Wands, and the Chariot, they're all really fast-paced cards. The Chariot, by the way, is a Cancer major arcana card, so maybe you're going to a Cancer's birthday party. Right? I mean, especially if this person is like a family to you, or they are family, right? But the Four of Wands at the end, that was the last card that came out. So yeah, it is a marriage card, it is a wedding card, or like a card of a family-oriented celebration. Okay, so that's what you're not expecting. Oh yeah, the Magician, clarified by the Six of Cups. So there's an element of the past, right? Maybe this is somebody from your past, or you're going somewhere you've been before, or something like that. All right. So yeah, Sagittarius, that's what I have for you for this reading for this week. If this video resonates with you, please like it. Please also comment and subscribe. And other than that, Sagittarius, have an amazing week.